My name is Marcy McDonald, and I am a body love and self confidence coach. I help women unhook their worth from their weight so that they can learn to love themselves no matter what the scale says. And I want to talk for a little bit today about the fantasy of a lower weight. What we imagine our life will look like when we're at a lower weight, and how our body image actually kind of hides a bigger issue related to that fantasy. I think we've all had the experience of saying, you know, in 6 months, when I lose X number of pounds, I'm going to hang out at the beach in my bikini and go out with my friends and do all this really fun stuff that I'm not doing right now, right? I think everybody's done that, I think. I hope. Oh my God, otherwise I'm really embarrassed. But that's what I did. Everybody's done that. And a lot of times when you start asking someone, what would it look like if you were to just accept yourself right now the way that you are? How would that work? How would that look for you? People really push back, right? We're really connected. We're really identified, a lot of us, to the idea that the way we are now is not okay. A lot of us really cling to that bad body image, which kind of begs the question, why? Right? Like, why do we sit there and hang on to that and reject the idea that we could ever love and appreciate ourselves at any weight, at any size? Where does that come from? Like, that doesn't seem even a little bit emotionally healthy, right? Some people think it's because, often the answer is, well, because if I like myself as I am, then I'll never want to change. And frankly, I think that's a load. I love my baby niece, right? But I want her to learn to walk, right? That those two things don't have to be mutually exclusive. So I think it's deeper than that. And I think the issue is, and my experience has been in talking to women, that for a lot of us, the life that we imagine having after we've lost all the weight or gotten really fit or, gotten our abs really cut, whatever your thing is, right? The life that we imagine isn't us, right? It's not you. It's someone else. It's an idealized, perfected version of the you that looks like a fitness model and does all these things that the current you doesn't necessarily want to do, right? For me, I always imagined that I would be one of those people who went out like 3 or 4 nights a week. Not maybe to big, huge, wild parties or anything, but, I'd go out to the movies with my friends, and I'd go out to dinner with people, and I'd, hang out sometimes at parties, sure. And I just really imagined this really active, outgoing social life. I'd have parties at my house. We'd do big dinner parties. It was going to be awesome. And the reality is, I'm a diehard introvert, all right? There's a reason I wanted to be an entrepreneur and work from home, okay? And if I really stop and think about it, what would that be like to go out every night or most nights of the week? Honestly, that's really exhausting. I think that sounds really tiring. But I really wanted to be that person, right? I really wanted to be that person. And I, as I've talked to other women, that's really true for a lot of us. We cling to this idea that we can't like ourselves the way that we are. We have this horrible body image and this idea that the way that we are is not okay. Because if we have to admit that, if we have to say, maybe who I am and the size that I am and the way that I look and all of those things, if those are okay, then I kind of have to give up the dream of being that super outgoing, super popular fitness model type person, right? That part, that kind of sucks. It really kind of does. When I was going through this myself, I was realizing that in my imagination, I am the person who goes to the gym 5 days a week, and I spend, an hour there, and I take group classes, and I run on the treadmill, and, with all the TVs on and the people around me and everything else. Again, introvert, right? That would be awful. And I've come to realize that I like to work out by myself, right? I walk. I'm working on getting back into running. I'm looking forward to that. I like to do yoga and Pilates in my living room. I like the kickboxing DVDs in my living room. Okay, like there's a theme here, in my living room. Even walking and running for me are very solitary activities. I don't want to go with a running group. I want to go by myself. The group classes that I've taken, the ones that I've enjoyed, are skill-based, right? I'll go and show up in a big group of people if it's like a dance class where I'm learning new stuff, or I took martial arts for a while. That was really fun. But those are both skill-based phenomena. But to go to the gym on the treadmill and run on the treadmill or the elliptical or whatever, pick something, with, a million TVs on and other people around me doing the same thing, and like, I just don't like that environment. But the person in my head, the person that I wanted to be, she loves that environment. That is like her jam. Okay, I just said jam and I said it totally unironically. Does anybody even say that? I hope so. Ooh, this could be really embarrassing. I totally lost my train of thought. I'm not even going to pretend I know where I was going with some. The person at the gym and why that's her jam, and I did it again. How she loves doing that. It's her thing. Whatever. Moving on. That was the person that I wanted to be. And as I started really digging into that, as I started really like pulling out just the, okay, well, here's this belief, and well, that's weird, and what's under, oh crap, there's a whole other one under there, and I'll pull that one out, and well, what's that? When I personally started doing that, I realized that for me, a lot of my own bad body image and the way that I felt about myself, and the reason I really didn't want to like myself as I was, for me, came from childhood. Right? I was totally the nerdy, quiet kid at recess who had no friends and got picked on. That's who I was. And I always wanted to be the popular girl. And that was true all up through elementary school into high school ages, like probably until I got to college. And then I just I felt like I got good at faking being that kind of person. And I really, really internalized the belief that who I was never good enough. And so to really dig in and say, you know what, I am really good enough. This is really okay. I can be someone who would rather be home watching Netflix than out at a party. I can be somebody who would rather run by themselves than go to the gym and take whatever classes. Like, this is all okay. None of this is wrong. Right? So this idea that well, I can't afford to stop hating myself, right? That's really what it boils down to. People say when women are talking about, well, I'll never make any changes, or well, I just can't like myself the way that I am. What you're really saying is that you really believe that you're not good enough, and if you acknowledge that you're good enough, wow, what does that open up? How many years have we wasted? How much time has been frittered away? I mean, right? So when we talk about, is your body image hiding a bigger issue? Well, yeah, you know what? It's a really convenient scapegoat for not liking yourself. If you don't like yourself really deep down, then you can point to your body and say, well, if this were different, if I lost some weight, if my abs were more defined, if I had, better triceps, if my butt wasn't so big, if my thighs didn't jiggle, if I had a thigh gap or a bikini bridge, or pick something, right? Pick something. Everybody's got something. What if how you feel about your body is just really a marker for how you feel about yourself? And what if you could actually let all of that go and choose that who you are right now is perfect, whole, and complete right now as you are? Doesn't mean you can't make changes if you want to, but it means you're going to make those changes from a place of deep self-love and self-compassion. And that's always going to be more successful in the long run than trying to hate yourself into something you can love. appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me today. If you want to read more about what I do, you can find me at abnormallynormallife.com. You can find me on Facebook under Abnormally Normal Life. And it was a pleasure talking with you today. Bye.